Hello and welcome back, everybody. We're delighted to be back. I'm hoping you all enjoyed Professor Joe Walsh's session on agriculture and sustainable AI. I think it was one of those ones that you kind of realized there was a lot happening in the ag tech space when it comes to AI, so I took personally quite a lot out of it. I'm looking forward to our next session. It's Dr. Haithem Afli. He's from working in Cork IT at the moment, and I will hand you over to him shortly. He's going to showcase some real-world applications for AI in health, social science, ag tech, and explore current unseen environmental impacts of AI. So there'll be a link to John's presentation earlier as well. We pulled together 2 questions to get the brain ticking now that it's 3 o'clock in the day. We have some very smart people on this call. So we're posing 2 questions to you, and I will share them now. There we go. No. Okay, time for taking out those phones again and going to menti.com. This is quite an interesting question because it's one of those ones that you really get a sense of who's on the call and where everyone's head is at, really. So what positives come to mind when you think about the current AI advances and applications? So to answer this question, it's quite a broad question. So you get 3 answers and say what comes to mind first. The website, as you probably know at this stage, is www.menti.com, and you use the code 7252272. So what positives comes to mind when you think about the current AI advances and applications? And you've seen some fantastic applications, so feel free to use them, especially some of the ones that John spoke about and some of the applications that Joe spoke about in his session. So I'm going to join you in this. Efficiency, which is a very interesting one, given our conversation earlier around accuracy versus efficiency, cost saving, and impact. Impact from a sustainability point of view, I think, is a big one as well, because if we're talking about, like Joe said, you're talking about having to produce 50% more food, feed, and biofuel than we did in 2012. By 2050, impact is going to be huge when it comes to AI and efficiency. Oh, here we go. Some more customer support. Interesting. Of course, from a back point of view, strategy building, data mining. Yeah. Automation. I think automation is going to be a big one, and it's moving out from automation to society and human-centric thinking about AI. Equality and bias, very interesting. Reliability, yeah. Accuracy, productivity, connectivity, yeah. I mean, connectivity, absolutely. When you're talking about, like we talked about in the last session around 5G, really important. And I think this is one that, like, the positives come out really positive. Efficiency always coming out. I think everybody's in agreement there. Like, efficiency is a really strong one. Data mining, equality, strategy building, which is really interesting. I suppose it's planning, isn't it? It's planning for the future. Coupling. Insights, absolutely. Assistance. And assistance is interesting versus automation. Knowledge, absolutely knowledge. Accountability, transformation. Scale. Some fantastic answers. Free from boring activities, like absolutely. Data driven, yeah. Really interesting stuff. Depth of research. Popularity. I think you're a pro AI group, naturally, but like the positives are so positive, and it's fantastic to see. I will share this after this call, actually, so that you can all get a copy of it. Okay, so we're going to stop the positives for now, and we're going to move on to the second question, which is always a little more difficult and demands a little more thought. So the question is the same, but in reverse. So what negatives come to mind when you think about the current AI advances and applications, and even if we think about Maria's question in the last session, and we talk about, are we ready for the answers coming in already, great stuff. Are we ready for the transformation? Or, you know, because I think it always comes with the level of negativity. Reliability. Interesting. I'm going to answer this one as well. GDPR, so the negatives, GDPR, ethics. 7252272 to answer. What negatives come to mind when you think about the current AI advances and application? Carbon footprint. Absolutely. Just kind of talking about what was said at John's session, you know, that balance between efficiency and accuracy, bias, ethics, surveillance, all those things, labor displacement, speed of progress, security, capitalism, centralism, footprint, yeah, client understanding, labor displacement again, yeah, bias, ethics, surveillance. These are the things that are coming out really strong. Right. Really good stuff there. And also destruction, error, algorithm, black box, inequality, heading down a rabbit hole. Really interesting answers here. Okay, and they're still coming in. Discrimination. When is too far for client understanding? Ooh, I don't know who said that, but like send that as a question in for one of the speakers. Okay, we'll wrap that there. That was excellent. Still stuff coming in. Overhead. Okay, I'm going to wrap that here because I think we could get some interesting answers and be here for a while. But that was excellent, fantastic answers, and I hope you got to see that, Haithem, because it kind of tees up your presentation really, really nicely. I'm just going to get a little bit of background about you because I'm sure you cover this yourself, but Haithem has 10 years experience of R&D in natural language processing and deep learning research, but primarily in the areas of machine translation and sentiment analysis. And if I miss anything, Haithem, please tell me. Now I'll hand you over to Haithem and he will take you through his presentation. Enjoy, guys.
Thank you very much, Yassine. Yeah, I'm very delighted to speak in this version of the John McCarthy Summer School. Just a little bit background myself. I'm also a funded investigator at Adapt Center, and I'm leading the Adapt research group in CIT, which is focused on the application of AI in so many different domains, including digital health, social science, and AgriTech. And we will see some of our, projects today. So let me start with, okay. So here I will be starting with with this, the HAPE or the anti-HAPE, discussion that started about AI. Started in the beginning of this century, actually after the end of the second wave of the AI winter. So we had this discussion about we started to have, in 2002 and 3, where we start to think about the advantage, of using, the deep learning method that, changed radically, the way of implementing AI systems, and also, in positive way, but also, generated new kind of challenges and limitation. These challenges related, to the misuse of AI systems, but also, to kind of a problem, like the AI carbon footprint problem, mentioned by, earlier in the first presentation. So today I will be trying to focus mainly on the benefit, okay, of using these AI systems in real world problems. Okay, so it's not on the implementation itself, but on the need of AI in domains like such as the digital health, where I'll be mentioning two EU projects, SliceNet and so obesity platform. In social science, I will be talking about the IT flows project related to immigration flows. And for AgriTech, I'll be talking about the Phono AI project, which is originally Brazilian project funded by FAPESP, but also become now more internationally. And we have also one of our colleagues here to talk about this if there is any questions. Okay, so before that, I want to start with this very inspiring quote from an old interview of John McCarthy in March 1989. Okay, so where he was saying that if it takes 200 years to achieve the artificial intelligence, and then finally there is a textbook that explains how it's done, then the hardest part of that textbook to write will be the part where that explains why people didn't think of it 200 years ago. Okay, so this quote inspired me since I started my career in artificial intelligence more than 10 years ago, and I was thinking it was always encouraging me to find really real a way for achieving artificial intelligence. Okay. And within our group, we didn't want actually to wait 200 years, okay, to achieve artificial intelligence. We were thinking, of better way to use the current AI technologies like natural language processing, social media analysis, computer vision, machine learning, and deep learning, in order to solve problems in different domains, okay, that as it traditionally doesn't use AI, like digital humanities, fintech, agri-tech, life science, psychology, cybersecurity, and so on. Okay. Unfortunately, I cannot, present all projects that we are doing here, but I will be, you will have some examples that can give you, very good idea about what we are doing to achieve that. So the first project I mentioned will be SliceNet. Okay, so this is originally it is a 5G project. Where we have 5 use cases, including the e-health use case. So, today I'll be, obviously focusing only in the e-health use case, because other 2 use cases, for they are for different domains. So the idea of the use case coming from a real problem, okay, that our society is suffering, which is the problem of stroke. Okay, this is one of the diseases that causes 2,000 death in Ireland, and 10,000 Irish people having this disease every year. Okay, the situation is worse in some other countries like US, where every 40 seconds we have stroke every 40 seconds, and we have die. Someone is dying from death, from stroke every 4 minutes. So here, I have a small video, 1 minute, of a real, scenario of stroke, okay, and how it is happening, and how the stroke, this possible death can be happening. Okay, so I'll be sharing with you this video.
Welcome to SliceNet, the next evolution in mobile broadband, supporting specialized verticals, create new and innovative service offerings. In this video, we look at how SliceNet can be used to support pre-hospital medical emergency services. Jim was at a restaurant with his wife celebrating his 70th birthday when he began to feel unwell. His wife was worried and asked the restaurant to call for help. Emergency services were contacted and ambulance dispatched to Jim's location. Jim is now in the ambulance and is on his way to the local hospital. and paramedic Anne suspects Jim has had a stroke. To help with a pre-hospital diagnosis, Anne has launched an innovative 5G service that uses artificial intelligence and remote physician support to assess Jim's condition.
Okay, so as you see from the video, so the SliceNet here, a project in the use case, the eHealth use case, aims to provide an eHealth support to medical emergency first responders by developing here a platform that can help them to play an enabling role in the transformation of the delivery of the health. So, in this, it's a big European project where we have a lot of partners, and I want really to thank all our collaborators in this project. The project finished last June, and we achieved very good results there. So the second project here also it's in digital health domain, and it is focusing on another problem. It's the problem of obesity. And here, I have some statistics about, overweight and obesity in Ireland, and you can see it is the situation. It's not that much good. Okay, as you can see, and therefore, in 10, like nearly 70% of people, in Ireland, they don't have the normal normal weight. Okay, and the situation, the same thing. It is worse in different countries. Okay, so what we did here is we want to come up with a new, again, it's a new platform that can help people suffering from overweight. Okay, to give them some suggestions that can help in different ways. So if the help will be from the psychological perspective, from suggesting some diet and giving them information about their body themselves as well. Okay, so here it's obviously AI. Okay, so we in this project we wanted to build the platform the way where we are collecting the data from the user himself. So by using some wearable sensors, or also by self-reporting. And also we added the option of discussing with having discussion with chatbots and so on, to gather any possible information. And so we will see the reason later on why also we need these bots. Okay, so and the final goal is to give suggestions and for the user in term using here for the diet suggestion. We have the MyFood platform, which is a platform provided by one of the project collaborator from Italy, and we are in CIT providing the chatbot technology with psychological aspect. Okay, so what so as I said, we are focusing here in CIT in the chatbot implementation, and we want to we have some challenges there, as we want to avoid any possible fails. Okay, so you see, I mentioned in the beginning, we have a great improvement in terms of technology, but for some application, we still there is limitations. Okay, it is important here to mention that if you see this example, this is obviously a fail in terms of chat. We cannot allow this kind of fails in application like this. Okay, where you are talking to someone who has a problem and you have this kind of fails, maybe in terms of saying something that shouldn't be said. Okay, so what we were doing, so we wanted to use another way for building these systems. Okay, so the first thing, the addition that we were we are working on it now, is to build a personality model for the user. Okay, so I mentioned here in the beginning that one of the source of the information will be the chatbot. Okay, and this bot, after discussion, we could build a model that can reflect the personality of the user, so we know how to deal with that user, and this one will be helping us to avoid any possible fails in the discussion. Okay, the second addition will be adding also the feature of detecting the current mood of the user while we are discussing with the user. Using sentiment analysis, we could detect additional information about how he is feeling. Imagine someone is feeling very bad, and you are just suggesting him or her a diet or something like that, which is it's not the need at that time. Okay, and the last thing is, from the technical point of view, we want to combine the chatbot technology with frame-based agent and rule-based as well. Okay, in order to to predefine some answers needed in some situation that will be reflected from the other two two modules. Okay, the personality and the mood model. So this project started last year and for 4 years, and we are happy that we have a really good improvement in the system. The first version of this system will be released by the end of this year, but I'm working in this project in CIT with two great PhD students from 2 different domains. So Yanjin from the computer science domain and Ryan from the psychology. And you see here the need of this collaboration for these kind of projects. And these are the list of our collaborators from Germany, United Kingdom, and Italy. So the last, so the third, actually, the third application here, it's related to the social science, where we are interested here in very different domain. Okay, so here the problem is related to the migration crisis that we are talking about it, a few years now in Europe, and and it's the violence or anything related to it. Okay, so what we were thinking here in this project is to build. So it's to build again another platform. Okay, so this is a platform that can help decision makers to understand the situation and to take more the control of the situation of the crisis, but also to understand what is happening, within Europe, in this situation. Okay, so what we were proposing is models to accurate, for the accurate prediction of irregular immigration flows coming from here we have some 5 use cases from 5 countries of outside Europe, and also a model that can predict the migration and identify any risk of tensions between the migrant and the EU citizens. Okay, in our societies, and this is a very kind of great interest for the European Commission to try to avoid these kind of tensions. Okay. So what we are doing here, so as I said, we have 2 levels. Okay, so we are doing the predictions and predictions of a number of migrants coming to different countries with using different sources of information, like the economic situation of the countries. We are using social media analysis there, which is very important as a source of information, news, and so on. Okay, and we have different other features to use. For the second part of it, we are mainly using social media analysis to try to get to measure this risk of tensions, and for sure here sentiment analysis will be the technology used there. So here this is the model, and the two main goals of the project. As I said, as a source we have this real-time data set coming from different sources, and building the model for the prediction of the migration flows. Here for the second part within the European countries, to try to get the public attitude, and using again the real-time data set in order to predict any kind of risk of tensions, okay, within the European countries. So here in an example of one of the use cases that we have here, Syria. Obviously, it's a big crisis now, and I know it sounds like maybe 6 or 7 years, and we have in this case here we have some information. So here the real information of the Syrian immigrants in different countries, and what we are doing here is I try to here I will be talking about the CIT team task, which is based on the social media analysis. But also we are leading other work packages as well. Here in this project, we are trying to collect. We will try to collect tweets related to the countries of origin. Here in this case, we will be from Syria, and we'll be focusing on the dialect or the language used there. So it's here in Syria they are using the Levantine Arabic dialect, which is a dialect used in Lebanon, Jordan, Syria, Palestine, and Israel. Okay, so also here I saw some mention in the first question about ethics, and we in all these projects it's very important to take all ethic and data privacy considerations. Okay, so in terms of the first ethical challenges here about the discrimination in terms of location. So as the language treated there it's used in different countries, so we will not discriminate any people from a specific national. The second challenge in ethics here, it's about the privacy, the personal data of people that we are collecting information on people that are collecting their data set. So here we again, our purpose is to predict the number of people, not track people. Okay, so it is we are not tracking anyone there, so we are trying to find technical solution to avoid any kind of problems there. Okay, so we'll be in natural language processing. We have some tools to for anonymization of data set. Okay, so we'll be removing all information related to or data related to specific information of the users. Even if we in Twitter we are collecting public data set, but also we don't want to use it in the wrong way. Okay, so here all this practice will be conducted according to the EU data protection laws, and also from a technical point of view, here we'll be using differential privacy for text document analysis. So to make sure that no one will have the access to any personal information about people that we are collecting their data. So here in this project, we have 14 collaborators from 14 institutions across Europe, for sure, including CIT, but also they are from very different domains. So we have collaborators from the law domain, from the economy, from the social science, from the from very, very different. Also, we have NGOs as well, and so on. Okay, so this is a very good project. Actually started this month. Okay, so for the next 3 months, I will have more information to share with you, in papers and so on. So this is the third project. The last project is related to the AgriTech, and this project is focusing on the in some aspect of climate change challenges in AgriTech. Okay, So, you know, I don't know if you know that, you know, the methane generated by you know, cattle and cows in general is more dangerous than the, you know, the CO2, you know, generated by cars. And you see here, actually, you know, methane generated from cows is 23x more damaging to the climate than the carbon dioxide produced by cars. So even, you know, this carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is staying more, but you know, because of the amount of the methane produced by cows, it is it is huge, and it is providing a lot of damage to our climate there. Okay, so what we wanted to think here about what kind of solution we can get there, and that can keep that balance between having good production of meat, okay, for our farmers, but also keep our climate and try to reduce the effect of the meat industry. So we come up with this project, which is originally a Brazilian project, as I mentioned it, funded by FAPESP, and we start collaboration with Embrapa. It's one of the very famous AgriTech research center in Brazil, and we tried to look how to use machine learning and AI in general to find solution for this. Okay, so to give you a background, a cattle or cow, they has an environment of microbiome that contains different kind of bacteria, protozoa, and fungi and archaea. These kind of they are similar to bacteria. They are used for digesting, the food that they are eating, but also producing, the methane. Okay, so what we wanted to do is that to collect data set from different places in the animal. Okay, so we have two main places, the rumen and the feces, and with all information about the animal and about about the methane production, about the quality of the meat, the age, and so many information there. So what we wanted to do is to get a pattern. And actually we got a pattern for this as well. So it's a pattern of the typical animal that we are looking for. Okay, so that has less methane production and better quality of meat. Okay, and we got very good results on identifying the specific bacteria that can which is involved in generating this methane. Okay, and we found also that the animal producing more methane, they have less quality of meat, which is really good result. Another interesting result here from this pattern, we find that we don't need actually to take for some experiments. We found that the same result we found in rumen can be found from the feces samples. Okay, which is very important for the treating the animal, because to get samples there, you need to kill the animal. Okay, so sample from the rumen, but in the feces you don't need to do that. Okay, or to do something that I don't want to mention here. Okay, so it's very yes. Okay, so and you see here my colleague Dr. Bruno Andrade is collecting this. This is the real way of collecting the samples from the animal. Okay, so this is the really important result, at least for me, because to get the same result that we are looking for analyzing the quality of meat and so on, or these bacteria, you don't need to kill the animal itself. Okay, so this is something and we still continue on this project, but this is something that we come up with within this project. So this project is led by Dr. Bruno Andrade, who is originally coming from Brazil as a postdoctoral working with us in CIT, and now also he continue, as he become as an adapt member and continue his work within our team here. And he's the biologist or the expert in biology in our team. So as I mentioned in this project, it started here in Brazil, but we are now collaborating with different, researchers in the domain in US, in Canada, in different countries there, and we want to build like a international consortium that can, try to improve, this research in climate change, in AgriTech. I think that's yes. So before finishing, and I want really to thank all the international funded agencies that are funding our research. So, it's here nationally, in Europe and in different countries in the world. Without this funding, we couldn't get all these results. And the last thing here I want to mention that in CIT we started 2018. Master for Artificial Intelligence. That's the first master in Ireland, and we have very good result about the quality of our students. Now starting the third cohort, and we are really happy with this program as well. That's all from my side. I don't know if it's okay. Yeah, I think I'm okay with the time.
Super. Haithem, that was excellent. Thank you so much for that session. I took an awful lot out of that. Something that will stay with me forever is that PayPal example, which was, I think, an experience that we've all had with a chatbot where you say something and the chatbot comes back going super, and you're just like, oh. But yes, absolutely great examples, and it's great to see the applications in the real world, which is really, really useful. We have loads of questions to get through, and they're really broad questions. So answer what you can, and
sure.
We'll defer anything we can't. So I suppose the first question in, and to be fair, was from Ken, and it was, what was the role of AI? What role will AI play when we move towards preventative care, like things like looking at continuous glucose monitoring, weight, blood pressure, fitness tracking? Is the future of cardiac and diabetes care rooted in AI?
To be honest, we have many different possible application of AI in healthcare. Okay, so it's and this is only one application. The only probably limitation that I can say that in some technologies are not really ready now. Okay, so I was engaged in a discussion with actually. During the COVID-19 with the team in Tunisia, actually, and they were thinking about a robot that can help in pre-diagnosis. But it is very good idea. Okay, so I was working with them to from the speech recognition perspective, and also from the chatbot part. But the problem is that we are still relying on rule-based. We cannot engage in real world technology, for example, for this. Okay. But if you compare, for example, the in computer vision, if you for any pattern detection and so on, AI is much better than a human being. Okay, so it's if you have, for example, the scan and so on, you can rely on AI, and it will be giving better result than human. So it depends on the application and where the technology is standing up there. Okay. So it's but for sure it's the future. Okay, it's the future. We will just I want to add something that we are not trying to replace doctors or for first responder, but we are trying to help to facilitate their work. Okay, so to help with anything that can be for example, taking more time, manual work, and so on. For example, this connection, trying between the ambulance and the hospital with where we can get some information about the user and so on. It was really difficult before time. Okay, so it's with this platform, it was we provided the help that we want to do. So,
yeah, and actually talking about that animation video with the ambulance, you got some really nice feedback on that. Like people really liked that animation. They were kind of wondering where it was from. But can you go into the ambulance use case in a bit more detail? Because it was hard to see where the AI fit into that scenario.
Okay, so in that ambulance, we have, the platform which is video transmission. Okay, so in stroke what we did, we built an application. We call it telestroke. Okay, so telestroke application. We try to detect, from video processing. So you have the camera in the ambulance. Okay, and the camera will transmit the video to the doctor in the hospital. Okay, but transmitting, using also we are generating a report, and this report we try to detect any symptoms of stroke. Okay, and this is by trying to detect any micro movement in the face. Okay, also the doctor will ask for some specific movement in the hand. Okay, and by detecting how that hand is placed, you can generate, you can have like an idea about the situation of the person, having that problem. It could be normal problem, not stroke, but also it could be stroke where it needs some specific help. Okay, so that's where AI is there. It's used.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for clarifying. Right, one question that's in at the moment is in the context of digital health. Any thoughts on where AI can help during COVID-19?
There is different ways. Okay, so actually we were thinking about different we have several proposals during COVID-19 pandemic. So we were thinking to have a platform for self-reporting, and I saw that in Canada they have a really good result with the platform that they built for that. Okay. But now with the tracking app, from the HSE, it is we are getting better result of about not tracking people, but tracking clusters. Okay, so this is something that can be used. We are thinking about building some videos in different languages automatically translated to help people with some information. Okay, and also if you go to the HSE website, you will find a very good application of AI, which is the bot there. Okay, that can give you help, assistance if you have any symptoms and so on. Okay, it's still a rule-based system, but it is very helpful there. It's a good application, COVID-19. So this is something that I had in mind, and we are supporting it. As I mentioned also, during COVID-19, the project with the Tunisian Ministry of Health there, they have problem in the healthcare workers. They are in the beginning they were afraid. Okay, so they wanted like a solution where you have interaction with the user but not face to face. Okay, so they were thinking about the robot. So they built a robot for and they use it in the street in some cities, but also in some hospitals there. So we were, I mean, just helping them with the speech recognition technology, and how we can adapt it to that end.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. We're not going to get to everything, sure, yeah. I know that, but and answer as you can, because they're quite broad questions, right? So one of the questions came in from Anonymous was, any thoughts on the auto machine learning as it applies to life science and precision medicine?
Precision, what do you mean actually by precision medicine there actually? for the user, for the who is
life science, functional genomics, and precision medicine.
Genomics, yes. Yeah. It is where we are going with this AgriTech project, and to be honest, we have another COVID-19 project. We couldn't mention it today. Okay, so it's based on analyzing sequenced data set. Okay, so we try to get also, it's at the end, we will try to detect any pattern. Okay, for any disease or any, for example, here the AgriTech project, we are analyzing also, part of this project, we are analyzing sequencing data of these bacteria. Okay, so to try to find the specificities of these bacteria, and that's why how we get the result of which one is producing more beta and so on. These links. Okay, sequenced data set is a huge data set. Okay, so here from the data that we have, in this initial project, we start with 52 animals, but from Iowa University in US, we got a huge amount of data. To give you an idea, okay, this project is like 4 terabytes of data set, sequenced data set. So there is no way to analyze this without machine learning. Okay, so without AI. Okay, so that's where there is a need. Okay, so we are not using AI for just for the technology, but because there is the only way to use to do the work.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense, really. I have one kind of I suppose pushback in a way, right? So the question is, do you, Haithem, accept the evidence that regeneratively managed cows actually can help sequester carbon in the soil?
So this is mainly AgriTech here.
Yeah.
Again, the question, where it is focusing? Can I?
Now, this is why I don't have my farmer hat. My background is not agri, and I'm ashamed to say it. But anyway, so the question is, do you accept the evidence that regeneratively managed cows actually help to sequester carbon in the soil? They're kind of saying that do you remember that slide you had, the car versus the cow slide? That can be kind of misleading, and I suppose that's a narrative that we've heard over and over again. And they're kind of saying, like, is that in fact truly representative, depending on how you manage your cows? Haithem, you're muted. There you go. I thought it was just me. Oh, you're muted again. It's muted again. Just unmute yourself, Haithem. It's the quote of 2020. You're on mute. You're okay.
So this is, sorry for here. The question is purely AgriTech there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that I can provide the right answer there. I'm sorry about that.
Can't be an expert on everything.
Yeah,
but Haithem, I'm just going to wrap it there because I'm conscious of time. I just want to say a big thank you. You went through such a huge breadth of applied AI in real world that gives us a real sense of what's coming, and I think that's really exciting. So a big thank you to you, and thank you to everybody who gave questions and comments, and I appreciate that really. Next up, we're going to have Mark Sparvel, who is my Australian friend. He's the lead lead education with Microsoft, and he's going to talk about some really interesting stuff around AI and education. So it's going to be a great session, and I'll see you all in a couple of minutes. Thanks a million.